Yes, yes, people. So apparently, Anthony Joshua versus Vladimir Klitschko talk is that it's supposed to be taking place in Nigeria. Um, if there's any validity to this, if there's any truth to this, it remains to be seen. Apparently, from what I've read, this is what Eddie Hearn said, that this is the front runner for the fight between Klitschko and Joshua. Now, I'm a big supporter of this because if this happens, and I'm not saying it will, because personally, for these type of things to happen, it's very rare in boxing, and I'm not a believer that this will happen in Africa. But if it does, I think it's a great thing. I think the last major fight which took place in Africa was Muhammad Ali versus George Foreman, the Rumble in the Jungle, and that was just huge. And I think it's good that boxing goes international because Anthony Joshua, he's young, he's gonna have a lot of fights in the UK yet, and maybe if it took place in America, maybe that would be better. But I still feel that taking it back to Africa in Nigeria, in Anthony Joshua's hometown with his roots, he's going to gain publicity in his home country, and there'll be a decent population in Nigeria, and when the fight's over there, the BBC will probably be over there. They'll be getting footage, they'll be getting interviews, and it'll really take it back. And for me, I'm a big supporter of this. I think this definitely needs to happen because you need to look at the bigger picture because it's not all just about money and brass. It's not. It can't all be about that. It's got to. You've got to have an element of building the fighter up and building his international star appeal. Because the more viewers you get around the world, the more money you get. The bigger your profile, the more money you get, the more sponsors you get. So I think Anthony Joshua, he's going to definitely be from Nigeria as well. He's gonna have a fan base there, and if he goes over there and he promotes himself there and he can speak the language as well, I'm pretty sure Anthony Joshua can. Anthony Olufemi Joshua, if he goes back there, then he can and this is a big fight as well. The rematch is a pretty big fight. He does it over there, does all the promotion over there. People will. The catch is, right, they're trying to promote Anthony Joshua like Muhammad Ali did. That's what they're trying to copy. They're trying to copy that, capture that element of Don King's promotions, you know. But you can't really replicate what Don King did in the sport of boxing and how he promoted fights. But I think this is a brilliant idea. But the difference is, right, when Muhammad Ali did it with George Foreman, it was two mega like heavyweights, where George Foreman was knocking everybody out, and they were both black as well, and they were both, well, Muhammad Ali was quite late in his career, so in that sense, Klitschko's quite late in his career as well. But I mean, Anthony Joshua's a knockout artist, so technically it's like, you could say Anthony Joshua's George Foreman and Klitschko's the Ali. Not really comparing them. Come on, you can't compare these guys like to them guys. It's just you can't compare. Which heavyweight can you compare? You can't. Not of definitely not of recent. It's just, but we've got to because this is heavyweight boxing. So for me, I'm really a big fan if this takes place in Africa. I think. Will it be on pay-per-view? Yeah, most definitely in the UK will be on pay-per-view. But I think if it takes place in Africa, I think it could capture more audience in America. I think people will be intrigued to see the fight. Seeing that it's being built up in Africa, in Nigeria. I think it'll be something very interesting. They could have a lot of people coming in, keep the gate small. But people are very doubtful of this because they're thinking Eddie Hearn wants the money, so why is he going to do it in Africa when they could do it in the O2? But and make lots of money. But the thing is, in boxing, you don't just want to keep cashing out all the time. You can't. Why? I hate that. I hate that mentality of cashing out all the time. You've got to build your fighter as a promoter. You can't just keep throwing in your fighters with triple Gs and just destroying their careers. You can't do that. You've got to build them, and you can't, and Eddie Hearn does a brilliant job of building his fighters in the beginning, but then he just makes them jump into big fights, and and take big gambles. And I'm all for that, but I think you should take a calculated gamble. But there needs to be times where you're building your fighter, like Al Heyman, he's really doing the best job that he can with what he's got. Eddie Hearn's got a really, really good method upon which he promotes his fighters in the UK, and he's really brought British boxing back to life. Al Heyman in America, he's doing his best, and his fighters are nowhere near getting that sort of star attraction what these UK fighters of Eddie Hearn are getting. But he's trying in a better way, I think. I think with the whole, I mean, if he did that, if he did what he did in America over here in the UK, I think you'd be talking something totally different. I mean, if these fighters of Al Heyman were fighting on ITV, I mean, you'd be looking at something totally different. Totally different. But excuse me, yeah. So leave your comments in the section below. Please make sure you subscribe to Be Real TV. Let me know what you think about this. Anthony Joshua versus Wladimir Klitschko, the rematch to take place in Nigeria, Africa. I'm for it. I'm definitely for it. In a bit, guys.